Hey, welcome back. It's been a little bit. So I'm home from the holidays from the first quarter of my freshman year, and I thought that it would be kind of an interesting thing to just sit and talk about my first quarter and kind of like my transitioning experiences and all that. And I know that literally 5 people watch these videos. Love you who do. And you're all my friends, so I've pretty much told you all of this already, but in the off chance that this somehow ends up reaching somebody who could use it. So I guess I'll just start by explaining my school situation. So I go to a 4-year university and I haven't declared a major yet. I am leaning towards humanities sided things. We're thinking English, we're thinking philosophy. We're gonna figure it out, we have time. But we are in the quarter system. I began in September and we just finished now, which is early December, and so that's a 10-week quarter, and there are usually people will take 3 of them a year. What else? I also did go away for college, so I am not in my hometown. I'm a fairly decent car ride away. So I guess just to start, I'll start with the moving in aspect of everything. I moved into a triple dorm. One of my roommates never showed, and so technically it's 2 people currently living in a triple room. So there are 3 beds, 3 desks, but only 2 of us living there. I think that moving out, I know it's hard for a lot of people, and a lot of the people who I've met in college are having a really hard time with not being with their parents. They're slowly growing into it, I feel like, but a lot of them had a really hard time in the beginning. However, I do feel like I was ready to move out, and I was pretty able to be an independent person. I'm not entirely independent, obviously, but I felt like I was prepared and ready to kind of move into that chapter of my life. So I think that that's really good. It's really nice having your own space, having your own autonomy and your own ability to kind of do what you want when you want, figure out how to do everything yourself. It's really, I feel like I've grown so much in my independence and my ability to do things for myself in the past few months. I feel like I've really grown in that area. My roommate and I, we get along fairly well. It has been a little bit of a change. I did have my own room at home. I used to share a room with my sister for the first 13 years of my life. I shared a room with her, so I'm used to doing that, but this was a complete stranger. However, I did get pretty lucky. She's really sweet, and we see eye to eye on most things, and the things we don't, we just talk about, so that's been a pretty good experience. I'm trying very hard not to live in the dorms again next year. I know a lot of students do for their second year move into the dorms again, but it's something I'm trying really hard not to do because it's just not been a great experience overall. I know the dorm life is not glamorous and nobody thinks it is, but it's hard. It's just gross, and the kids, it's just really disgusting, the shower situation and the bathroom situation, and we have a shared lounge on the floor, which is always messy and disgusting, and it's hard to live with other people in that way, not even just sharing a room with somebody. That's mostly been fine, to be honest, but it's more just the shared facilities aspect, which has been really hard for me. But yeah, overall the living situation hasn't been that bad. I think it's been a mix of good and bad. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm currently looking for the next year at where I should live. We're looking at potential apartments, potential furnished apartments, university apartments. I don't know, it's all an exciting process. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about housing and all of that. So my school runs on the quarter system, and I just finished my first quarter, which went from late September till early December, and that's a 10-week period, and usually students will take 3 quarters a year. So it's very different from semester, which is kind of what I had in high school and what a lot of people have in high school. It's a lot more quick, a lot more rigorous. For example, my midterm was in early October, like mid-October, which is about 3 weeks in. So you've not learned too much in those 3 weeks, and you already have a midterm. And so it's quick and it's fast and it's a lot, and it is a lot of work, and it's a lot of hard work. But I think I actually do prefer it 2 semester because I'm only taking 3 classes, so I can really focus my time on all of those. And another big change from high school was the fact that now I have lectures. So these are lecture halls. Each of my classes last quarter ranged from 150 to 250 kids in the lecture hall, which is a lot and it's hard. It took me a while to kind of get into the groove of things and understand how to learn in a lecture, because it is very different. There's not a lot of busy work. It's mostly like 3 or 4 assignments, like midterm, final, some papers thrown in there maybe, and that's about it. Maybe a few quizzes, and that's all that's in your grade. So that took a while to acclimate to just a different way of learning. The lectures are about 3 hours total throughout the week, split up in different ways depending on the class. And then there's a 1-hour discussion class that we have, and that's led by a TA, which is a teaching assistant. Teaching assistants are graduate students, and they work for the professor. Your TA needs to become like your best friend. Like, they grade most of your assignments, at least in the way that my university functions. The 1-hour discussion sections that we had weekly were led by the TA. There were about 15 to 20 students in each class. So that did feel more like high school vibes. Any questions that you have regarding the assignments, regarding the way things are going to be graded, what they want to see on the certain projects, should be directed to your TA. So it's really important that you have a good connection with your TA. I will admit, like, none of the TAs were like super close with me, but they all knew me by name. They all had some sort of connection to me. They knew me as a student in a sense, which I think is really important because it allowed me to ask one of my TAs for a 3-day extension on a paper. It allowed me to review my midterm with another one of my TAs and kind of get guidance and figure out why I got the grade that I did. And so those are really important things, and so it's important that your TA does know you to a certain extent. Create an email relationship with them at the very least. Speak up in those classes if your university, because I know that there are several universities that function similarly, at least to how mine is. So if you have that similar setup with the TA and the professor, try and create some sort of relationship with your TA. If not, if you are in a school where the professor teaches and that's just the professor and it's a smaller setting, I still say create that relationship with your professor. Make sure they know who you are at the very least, because that's so important when it comes to grades and things like that. So it's my first year at my school, but I'm technically sophomore standing, which means that I have enough credits to be considered a sophomore. And I had those credits when I came into school. So those are AP classes and college classes that I took in high school that gave me enough credits to be a sophomore. And so to any high schoolers, I think it's so important that you do take APs if you feel that you're able to, and take college classes if your school offers them. If your school doesn't offer them, you can still take them at community colleges in your neighborhood. I think that's really important because it put me at sophomore standing. And what that means is technically it's possible for me to graduate in 3 years, which is going to save my family a lot of money if I'm able to do it. And also, it puts me at priority for things. One thing it allowed me to do, for example, was I got to register for my next quarter classes before some of my friends who have no credits already. And so that's an advantage because then I got priority into choosing classes. And it'll serve me in other ways as well. So I think that that's really cool and really important, and it's something you should definitely look into if you are a high school student. So some final tips in regards to academics. 1, do extra credit. Just do it. Not all professors even offer extra credit, but the ones who do, like, they're giving you an opportunity to raise your grade. And even if it's like an essay that you bust out last minute the night before, like, it can only benefit you. They can't reduce your grade. if it's a bad paper. So there's no reason not to do it. Do extra credit if it's given to you. Secondly, take whatever classes you want. I'm undeclared. A lot of kids do go in undeclared, and there's this huge idea that it's negative and it can bring you down and it can make it harder for you. But I'm here to say, like, take whatever classes you want. I took an ethics class, and now I'm really thinking about philosophy and going in that direction because I loved it so much. And without taking the ethics class, that never would have been something that had crossed my mind. So take whatever classes you want. Maybe you'll find something new that you're really passionate about. Even if you have a major decided, if you have extra electives, take whatever sounds interesting to you. And it could end up being your minor. It could end up just being a separate passion that you have. Because college is really like a time to experience new things and try new things and figure out what you're into, and I feel like that's so important. Check your email every single morning. Check it every single morning. Check it when you have a break. Check it before you go to bed. Check your email several times a day, because that is how all your professors will contact you. That's how your TAs will contact you. If you have a job, that's how your job will contact you. That's how you'll hear about different university like opportunities. Everyone's going to contact you through email, and it's something that sounds so adult, and it's because it is, and that's how the world functions, is through email. And my email, like my university email, gets 20 emails every day, and then my personal email gets 20 emails every day, and I could skip one day and miss something super important. So it's really crucial to check your email every single day. Check both your emails, check all 4 of your emails, however many you have, check them all, because there could be new information coming at you that could really change things. So yeah, those are the last like pieces of advice, I guess, and things I have to say about academics. So finally, I wanted to just talk about like involvement in school. So I am not in any clubs. I am, however, a part of the newspaper for the school. I take photos and I'm writing opinion pieces for it. I'm also looking into another newspaper for the school and also a magazine. I'm just looking into them, not sure if I'm going to pursue those yet. There is like club fair, and it can be really daunting, and you can feel like you have to join something, but you don't. There's many ways you can get involved in the school. There's Associated Student Body. My friend is a part of her dorm's hall council, which just means she like helps to make decisions as far as like hall events and things like that. Even just going to, like, if your dorm has an event or if the school has an event, going to it is great. Getting a job. I just got a job working at like a convenience store on campus. I'll start next quarter, so I don't have any experience with that yet, but I am excited for it, and I'm excited to meet new people through the job. As far as like Greek life goes, I can't really help you out there. I don't find Greek life to be something that I personally want to do. It's a very big thing at my school, which I think is part of why I'm not intrigued and not compelled to join. It's also expensive, but yeah, Greek life is just not something I'm wanting to join at this point. No shade to anyone who's in Greek life. It's just not for me. What I do know about Greek life is it is very demanding. It is not like joining a normal club of any kind. It's very demanding. It does cost money. Yeah, so make sure you do your research before you decide to rush or join anything like that. I've found really good people at school who I feel like I can do any of those things with, which I think is rare. And so I feel really blessed because I have people who I can just sit and talk with. I can have deep conversations with. I can have super superficial conversations with. I can go into town with. I can study with. I can go to parties with. So just people who I'm able to mesh with in all kinds of different situations. I think that's so cool, and it's not something that I necessarily had in high school. So yeah, thank you for listening to my college experience so far. I'm only 1 quarter in, so all of this could change very easily over the course of the next 3-ish years. That's all I've got. I hope that this was at least interesting. If not, it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.